So let's quickly review the order details or the settings that we have control of on an individual order level. So I'm going to go back to my order index here, and to review order details you just click on the order number. If you click on the customer name, that will take you to their profile and the settings that you have control of there. So I'm going to click the order number. Now it's going to bring up all the details. Right on these top columns here, you're going to have the basic order information, and any one of these tabs, if you click edit, you can of course customize the details. So this is the customer's contact information. If I needed to make any changes or updates, I would just click on the field and scroll down and click save. Here we have the payment information, which of course we can make changes to as well. The payment method here at the top, this is going to be the payment method that they selected at checkout, depending on which payment method you have available for a particular pickup location or delivery method. So for this pickup location, I only had the option for my customers to pay me at the pickup location, so that's what's selected here. Now, if I had my Stripe account connected and was taking credit card payments, you would see credit card numbers, or the last four digits of any credit card numbers that are stored on this customer's account. Most of the time people would just have one credit card that they enter at checkout, so that would appear here in the drop down. You can update obviously the payment date, the due date. If you're allowing your customers to go ahead and just take an invoice and pay you with terms later on, you can go ahead and include terms here that would appear on the invoice. You can include payment notes like a check number or anything you want to include about a payment. You can also mark the order as paid, and this is kind of just an arbitrary way for you to keep track of paid orders in your system. If you do that and click save, you'll see that there will be this icon up here that says the order's been paid with a checkbox. If that was done by mistake and you want to undo that payment status, you can go back in here in the settings, click mark as not paid, hit save, and you see it'll undo that step. Over here on the logistics tab, you can update some of the logistics information like their fulfillment method, pickup date, deadline date, and sales channel. And then moving on down below these first couple boxes, you'll have more of the fulfillment details for the order. So I can update the statuses. I could change who the order was packed by. So what's going to appear in this drop down is anyone that has an administrative account to your GrazeCart website. So I just have one other person, but I could update the fulfillment rep, or who packed this order if I want to keep track of something like that. Here you have your containers, or the number of boxes that this order includes, and again, these are kind of just internal numbers if you would like to keep track of things like this, and we have them separated out by different storage temperatures. You have a couple check boxes here down on the bottom. So in the order manager video, we showed how you could mark tags on certain orders. Like you can mark an order as flagged if you want it to stand out for some reason. You can mark an order as mispacked. So maybe if there was a mistake that we had in the fulfillment process, we forgot to include an item, you can go back in here and tag that or flag it as mispacked. And then you can filter a report at the end of the year or a month, and you can check to kind of monitor your accuracy rate for fulfillment that way. And of course, you can also mark an order as exported if you have exported it out of your system and maybe imported it into another system like Excel transactions to import into QuickBooks. Scrolling down a little further, you'll have the actual item details. So if you want to edit an item, you would click here and you can change the name and obviously some of the price and other details. You can delete an item entirely. And you can also add an item to this order if you needed to. I would just search any item in my system, include a quantity, and hit add. And you'll see that I'll add it here to, it looks like to the top. And you can also, if an item is set up to be sold by the weight, meaning like our steaks and roasts, if they have a weight variance and you want to charge a customer for the actual weight of the items that they ordered, you'll see that this weight field will be editable for any item that's set up that way. If you want to know how to set up an item to be sold by the weight, we reviewed that in the adding a products video. So you see my pork chop, that item is sold up set up to be sold by the weight, and this weight field is edible. So now once the order's packed, I can come in here and then just include the actual weight of that item, and as soon as I tab out of that field, it will auto update the subtotal. So you can see here, let's do this again, 1.03. You can watch that field and you can see it auto updates the total on the order. Scrolling down to the fees section, it's going to by default include any fees that you have set up to applied on the pickup location by default. So those will appear here, but if you want to add another arbitrary fee like a restocking fee, you of course could give it a name that would appear on the invoice and an amount. You can also of course delete fees. Scrolling down, we still have a coupons field, so if you have a coupon set up in your system that you want to add to this order, you would just paste the code here. And at the very bottom, you'll have payment information. So if you're taking credit card payments and you charge their card, it will show up down here at the bottom. So that's why it's just a way for you to keep track of when an order was charged. We also have some note fields down here at the bottom. So the customer notes, those are going to be any instructions that the customer would leave for you at checkout in that special instructions field. They would appear here. They will also appear on the packing list when you print it. Private notes are the same thing. They would appear on packing lists. So if you have special instructions that you want to communicate on the packing list for whoever fills the order, you can include them here. And invoice notes are can be thought of as public notes. So these will appear on the invoice. So maybe if you had some billing notes or something you want to communicate to the customer, you can include them here. Invoice notes, I believe, are also a merge field that you can use in your email template. So whatever you type in the invoice notes, you can also have it be included on an email template. Last things are kind of these buttons that we have here on the top right, and these are just kind of the editing buttons that we have available to us in the order index as well. So we can print invoices and packing lists and label templates. We can notify the customer again from here by selecting a couple of our default email templates. We can also send them a custom message. Over by actions, we can this reorder feature is pretty cool. So if you click this, it will basically duplicate this order with the same items and order details. So that's a handy feature if you ever need to duplicate an order. Event log, this shows you any updates that are made to the order. So if you have it available to where your customers can edit orders after they've been placed, you can monitor the changes that they make to an order from here, and it'll obviously also show any internal changes that we make on the back end. So these are the kind of those weights that I updated here on the back end. Payment, if you charge a payment, that'll show up here as well. We added an item, so it's gonna show up here. So again, this is kind of just more of an order event log or audit that you can do if you need to see what changes are made. We can cancel an order and delete an order. Deleting it would remove it from our system entirely, so there would be no way to ever review it again. If you cancel the order, you can still go in and find this order somewhere. It basically would just wipe out the order total. So if you're in here making updates to a group of multiple orders and you want to quickly toggle through that group of orders that you have filtered, you can do so by using these arrows here. So you see that will filter me through my selection. With that pretty much summarizes the process. Thanks for watching.